Advisor hold bilateral talks. Tokyo reiterates its full support to interim government of Bangladesh for nation-building efforts and reform initiatives. Japan to provide $1.063 billion for budget support and railway upgradation of Bangladesh. Dhaka and Tokyo signed 6 MOUs in presence of Chief Advisor. Soka University confers honorary doctorate on Professor Muhammad Yunus. Chief Advisor urges all to build 3-0 clubs to protect the world from destruction. "44th martyrdom anniversary of Shohid President Ziaur Rahman today. BNP and its front organizations pay rich tribute. Israel accepts a U.S. deal for temporary Gaza ceasefire. Hamas reviewing. Israel approves largest Jewish settlement on West Bank. And Aminul Islam Bulbul, the new president of Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB). Assalamu alaikum. I'm Tasnum Tassim, welcoming you to the news at 10. You have just heard the headlines. Now moving on to the details. Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru reiterated his country's full support to Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus-led interim government in its nation-building efforts, reform initiatives and endeavour towards a peaceful transition in Bangladesh. He expressed his reassurance at a bilateral meeting with the Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the Prime Minister's office in Tokyo this morning. Recalling the long-standing friendship since the independence of Bangladesh, both sides reaffirmed their commitments to the strategic partnership between the two countries. They also reiterated their shared vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific FOIP to ensure peace, stability and shared prosperity for all. During the meeting, they held in-depth discussion on bilateral relations and issues of mutual interest in a candid manner. Professor Yunus expressed his gratitude to the Japan government for its continued support to foster sustainable economic growth and development in Bangladesh in advancing Japan bilateral relations. Both sides discussed ways to promote people-to-people exchanges, including skilled human resources, and concurred in strengthening cultural ties between the two countries. The Japanese Prime Minister commended Bangladesh for temporarily sheltering the forcibly displaced persons from Rakhine State, Myanmar, and extending continued humanitarian assistance to them. Professor Yunus appreciated Japan's humanitarian assistance for these forcibly displaced persons, including those in Bhasanchar. Japan reaffirmed its sustained efforts on this issue. Both sides shared the view that a sustainable, safe, voluntary and dignified repatriation of the displaced persons to Myanmar is the ultimate solution to its crisis for peace and stability across the region. Foreign Advisor Muhammad Tawhid Hossain, Chief Advisor Special Envoy Lutfi Siddiqui, Chief Coordinator on SDG Affairs Lamia Morshed and Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shofiqul Alam were also present at the meeting, among others. Earlier on his arrival at the Prime Minister's office, the Chief Advisor was given a guard of honor. Tokyo will provide $1.063 billion to Bangladesh for budget support, railway upgradation and as grants. Japan and Bangladesh today exchanged notes in this regard. Of the total assistance, Japan will provide $418 million as development policy loan for Bangladesh's economic reforms and climate resilience. Tokyo will also lend $641 million for upgradation of Joydepur-Ishwardi Railway into a dual-gauge double train track and another $4.2 million as grants for scholarships. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus attended Bangladesh business seminar held at JETRO headquarters in Tokyo on the third day of his ongoing visit to Japan. Speaking at the seminar, Chief Advisor said Japan is a good friend and important development partner of Bangladesh. Congratulating all parties involved with 6 MOUs signed between the two countries, the Chief Advisor stressed on implementing the instruments. He said it is not about making money, it is about changing people's lives. Professor Mohammad Yunus urged all concerned to execute unitedly.
It's a historical challenge to all of us. And we want to show to the history it was done. It was done with perfection, not somehow it was done. It was done in perfection, precise way. Laid the foundation. It's not about making money, that's not what I'm talking about. It's about changing people, their lives. The people who are left behind for everything that they've been doing, going around in the world, but people don't care about them. So what we want to do when we say New Bangladesh, we want to bring together. Bangladesh is the doorway to Nepal. When you build Matarbari, Matarbari is not for the neighborhood. Matarbari is not limited by the boundaries of Bangladesh. People in Nepal are waiting for Matarbari. They are as much legitimate recipient of the benefit of Matarbari than the neighborhood of Matarbari who live here. So we want to translate that. And then we reach out to Bhutan, which is another country next door. So that's the challenge we take together. Despite the difficulties that we had, now we double it, triple it, efforts, reach out. And Matarbari doesn't stop at Nepal and Bhutan. There are 7 states of India, eastern states of India, called 7 Sisters, blocked out. Even India cannot enter. So they have access to the rest of the world through Matarbari. We keep the door open for them. So this is the challenge to all of us, to make sure unreachable people are reached. Unreachable people within the country, unreachable people outside the country.
Japanese Vice Minister Shinji Takuchi, Chairman of Japan-Bangladesh Committee for Commercial and Economic Cooperation Fumiya Kokubo, and JETRO Chairman Norihiko Ishiguro spoke at the function. Japan and Bangladesh signed 6 Memorandum of Understandings on economic, investment and other cooperations. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus witnessed the signing of the MOUs on the sidelines of a seminar titled Bangladesh Business Seminar in Tokyo. The first MOU was signed between the Japan Bank for International Cooperation and Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Ministry of Bangladesh to strengthen cooperation in the energy sector. The second MOU was between Japanese company Onoda and Bangladesh SEZ Limited for a land lease contract of BSEZ. The third MOU involved Bangladesh Inaxis Company Limited and Bangladesh SEZ Limited. They will sign a land sublease agreement. The fourth MOU was signed between Glafid and Musashi Sumitomo Industry and the Bangladesh Investment Development Authority (BIDA) on support for setting up electric motorcycle manufacturing plant. The fifth MOU involves Cypher Core Limited Company, which is investing $20 million in its Bangladesh venture to launch a national pilot project for information security. The sixth MOU was signed between the JICA and BIDA to provide technical and in-kind support for the early stage development of the integrated single window platform of BIDA. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus received an honorary doctorate degree from Soka University. He was confirmed the honorary degree in recognition of his contributions to social innovation and global development. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus also delivered an address to distinguished audience at Soka University in Tokyo today. The Chief Advisor urged the youths to build 3 clubs to save the planet from destruction, saying the planet will not sustain under the current civilization. Professor Yunus said the human being will not be able to survive under the current civilization and environmental destruction is going on all around the world. Highlighting his 3-0 theory, zero carbon emissions, zero health concentration and zero unemployment, he said, and everyone is trying to maximize his or her profit. Calling upon the young generation to be creative to build a new world, he said, an effort of getting a job takes away people from creativity. He also stressed establishing social businesses clubs to build entrepreneurs. The Chief Advisor asked the students to be imaginative to create a new world, saying imagination gives you the power to unleash yourselves.
Every day we are creating waste. We are destroying life. I said, this is one reason so powerful. Unless you can address that issue that we are going to save this planet, save the environment, we cannot survive. I do not seek jobs because job takes away my creativity. So unemployment will turn into entrepreneurship. I'm not looking for employment. So unemployment doesn't mean anything to me. That's how I was born, as an entrepreneur. But the school taught me to learn so that I can get a good job. So my orientation is, if I don't get a job, I'm useless. I'm a failure. I said, that's not true. You are born as an entrepreneur, as a creative person. I said, essence of human being is creativity. If you don't have creativity, you are nothing. Every single person is creativity. But we are so focused on pushing it down. No creativity, just follow the orders. I said, we are not slaves.
President of Soka University, Suzuki, also spoke on the occasion. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus sought the support of Japanese companies to build the new Bangladesh that he aimed for and urged them to invest more in the country. He made the call during a roundtable discussion in Tokyo on the third-day visit of his ongoing to Japan. Some top executives of Japanese companies with significant business interests in Bangladesh took part in the discussion. The chief advisor said that Bangladesh got a sign of life with the departure of the autocratic regime and sought a breathing space to fix the mess. He said the government's commitment is to create a new Bangladesh and want to keep a distance from old Bangladesh. Chief Advisor Professor Yunus said that the shortcomings that Bangladesh had now would soon be over.
Our businesses with Japan and history, our endeavor, and the level that we are in right now. So that will be extremely helpful to communicate this to the business people in Japan to see that you have a long experience, long before even Bangladesh was born. So your understanding and capacity to absorb all the norms, all the problems and all the possibilities of Bangladesh is enormous.
JETRO Chairman and CEO Norihiko Ishiguro, Chairman of Japan-Bangladesh Committee for Commercial and Economic Cooperation Fumiya Kokubu, Ambassador of Japan in Bangladesh Shinichi Saida, CEO of Sumitomo Corporation Shingo Ueno, President of Onoda Inc. Shigeyoshi Onoda, Executive Vice President of JETRO Kazukaya Nakazo, and Executive Vice President of IDE JETRO Mayumi Murayama also spoke at the roundtable discussion. Chairman and CEO of Japan External Trade Organization JETRO, Norihiko Ishiguro, met with Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus today. The meeting was held at the JETRO Center in Tokyo. During the meeting, they discussed different issues, including bilateral trade and investment. Foreign Advisor Mohammad Tawhid Hussain, Special Envoy to the Chief Advisor Lutfi Siddiqui, Chief Coordinator on SDGs Affairs Lamia Morshed, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam and Bangladesh Ambassador to Japan, among others, were present. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus said Bangladesh could never stand on its own foot if expatriates did not support the country by sending remittances, as previous government emptied government exchequer and banks. He made this comment while exchanging views with expatriate Bangladesh in Japan today. Over 100 Bangladeshi took part in the session at Bangladesh Embassy in Tokyo. The expatriates shared their problems and solutions. They expressed their solidarity with activists of interim government. The chief advisor urges them to increase their influence of Japanese government. He also urged them to explore and take new enterprising role to increase volume of trade in foreign lands.
আপনারা দেশ বাঁচিয়ে রেখেছেন, তারা দেশ চলে গেছিল। এই যে আজকে আমরা টাকা পয়সা পরিশোধ করছি, আজকে মিটিং করলাম যারা বাংলাদেশের সঙ্গে কাজ করে এখানকার কোম্পানি খোঁচা দিয়ে কথা বললো যে আমাদের টাকা দিচ্ছেন না আপনারা, আমরা টাকা পরিশোধ করতেছেন না, আমরা পারতেছি না, পরিশোধ করতে পারতেছি না। তো বললাম যে ভাই একটু সবুর করো, আমরা সব টাকা জোগাড় করেছি, অনেকগুলোকে দিয়ে দিয়েছি, আমরা লাইন আপ করেছি, একজন একজন দিচ্ছ, তোমরা দেখতে থাকবে, কাজে তোমাদের এক পয়সা আমরা মার যাবে না, এখানে প্রত্যেকটা 5 পয়সা তোমরা পাবে। তারা আশ্বস্ত হয়েছে, তারা জানে যে এটা আমরা করতে পারছি, যেহেতু তারা দেখছে যে বহু কোম্পানির পয়সা আমরা পরিশোধ করে করে আসছি। বহু দেনা পানা দেনা রয়ে গেছিল আমাদের। কোষাগার খালি, যখন তারা চলে গেছে কোষাগার খালি, রেমিটেন্স না আসলে আমরা আসতে পারতাম না। ব্যাংক খালি, ব্যাংকে সব টাকা নিয়ে চলে গেছে, কাজে ব্যাংক খালি, সবকিছু খালি। তো সেই দুর্যোগের অবস্থা থেকে আমরা আস্তে আস্তে আসছি। আপনাদের সমর্থন না পেলে, আপনাদের এই সাহায্য না পেলে বাংলাদেশ উঠে দাঁড়াবার কোনো সুযোগ ছিল না। এখন উঠে দাঁড়িয়েছে, আপনাদের এই সমর্থন আরো লাগবে, যাতে করে যত কিছুর কথাগুলো বললেন সেগুলো যেন সুন্দরভাবে আমরা করে ফেলতে পারি। আমাদের ইচ্ছার কোনো অভাব নেই, কিন্তু এতগুলো জিনিস একসঙ্গে আমাদের হাতে এসে গেছে যে কোনটার আগে কোনটা করবো, কোনটা ছেড়ে কোনটা করবো, এই নিয়ে সমস্যা আছে। এতে আমরা করতে থাকবো, যত কিছু শুনে গেলাম এগুলো খোঁজ খবর নেবো যাতে এগুলো সমস্যার সমাধান হয়।
Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam briefed journalists on various third-day activities of Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus in Tokyo.
বাংলাদেশ এবং জাপানের মধ্যে যে আমাদের যে বিদ্যমান যে সম্পর্ক, এটা আরো নতুন উচ্চতায় উঠলো। জাপান আমাদেরকে প্রথম থেকে এই যে অভূতপূর্ব যে একটা গণ অভ্যুত্থান হয়েছে, তারপরে জাপান আমাদের পাশে দাঁড়িয়েছে। $418 মিলিয়ন হচ্ছে বাজেটারি সাপোর্ট, এটা ওরা বলছে হলো ডেভেলপমেন্ট পলিসি লোন ওরা দিচ্ছে। জয়দেবপুর টু ঈশ্বরদী, এটা খুবই আমাদের ইম্পর্টেন্ট একটা রেলওয়ে লাইন, এখানে লোন দিবে। আরো ওরা স্টুডেন্ট স্কলারশিপ এর জন্য আরো $4.2 মিলিয়ন। আমরা ওদের কাছ থেকে পাচ্ছি হচ্ছে 1.063, মানে $1 বিলিয়ন একটু বেশি আমরা ওদের কাছে পাচ্ছি। নেভিকে 5টা পেট্রোল বোট দিচ্ছে, 6টা এমওইউ হয়েছে। একটা হচ্ছে যে খুবই ইম্পর্টেন্ট সাইকেল, এটা হচ্ছে ইলেকট্রিক সাইকেল তৈরি করার জন্য একটা ফ্যাক্টরি স্থাপন করা হচ্ছে। ইলেকশনের ক্ষেত্রেও তারা হেল্প করবে। ইলেকশনে আমাদের ভোটার রেজিস্ট্রেশন এগুলো অনেক কিছু আছে, তো এটার জন্য আমরা তাদের কাছে কিছু কিছু ইস্যুতে আমরা সাহায্য চেয়েছি। তারা জানিয়েছে যে তারা আমাদের পাশে থাকবে। বাংলাদেশ থেকে 1 লক্ষ বাংলাদেশিকে জাপানের আমরা জব অপরচুনিটি তৈরি করার মানে চেষ্টা করছি। তো সেই জায়গায় প্রবাসীদের একটা বড় রোল আছে, যে তারা এখানে ব্রিজ বিল্ডার, ব্রিজিং হিসাবে কাজ করবে। তারা আসলে জিনিসটাকে আরো বেশি এক্সপেডাইট করার জন্য যথেষ্ট হেল্প করার সুযোগ আছে, এবং অলরেডি আজকে তারা বলেওছে যে এটা নিয়ে কাজ করবে।
The 44th martyrdom anniversary of founder of BNP Shohid President Ziaur Rahman today. Marking the day, thousands of leaders and activists from BNP and its affiliated organizations paid rich tribute to Shohid Zia by placing floral wreaths at his grave at Zia Uddan in Sher-e-Bangla Nagar in Dhaka. Following the BNP, leaders and activists from other organizations also paid their respects by laying floral wreaths at the late president's grave. After the tribute, BNP Standing Committee member Mirza Abbas told journalists that the people want a national election to be held by December. BNP leaders stated that in light of the current political context, the political philosophy of Shohid Zia is more relevant than ever. BNP leaders and activists reaffirmed their commitment to restoring the democratic process in the country by carrying forward Ziaur Rahman's ideals. The 44th death anniversary of Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP founder Ziaur Rahman, also former president of the country, is being observed today. The BNP, along with its front and associate organizations, is marking the death anniversary with an elaborate 8-day program from May 25th to June 2nd. The 7th president of Bangladesh from 1977 till 1981, Ziaur Rahman, was assassinated by a group of army officers at the Chattogram Circuit House on May 30th, 1981. Ziaur Rahman was a sector commander and led the Z Force during the Liberation War in 1971. He was decorated with the Gallantry Award Bir Uttam for valor in the war. Born on January 19, 1936 at Bagbari village in Bogura, Zia became the country's president in April 1977. He founded the BNP in 1978. To commemorate the death anniversary of BNP founder Ziaur Rahman today, the party is observing various programs nationwide. A Dua Mahfil marking the 44th martyrdom anniversary of BNP founder Shohid President Ziaur Rahman was held at BNP chairperson's Gulshan office in the capital today. BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman virtually attended the program as chief guest. Party's central and metropolis leaders and leaders of associate bodies were present. Special prayers were offered at the Dua Mahfil, seeking peace of the departed soul of Shohid President Ziaur Rahman. Besides, special monajat also offered seeking recovery of BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia. The Dua Mahfil also sought peace, prosperity and welfare of the country and nation. Besides, a Dua Mahfil was held at the BNP chairperson's residence, Firoza, today, marking the 44th martyrdom anniversary of proclaimer of independence and advocate of multi-party democracy, Shohid President Ziaur Rahman. Party chairperson and former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia took part in the Dua Mahfil. BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman also attended the program virtually from London. Besides, close relatives, including wife of Tariq Rahman, Dr. Zubaida Rahman, now residing in Dhaka, and younger brother of Khaleda Zia, Shamim Iskandar, were also present.
অপর নাম জীবন। আমাদের দেশে কৃষিতে, বিশেষ করে ধান চাষে, শিল্প কলকারখানায়, গৃহস্থালী সহ নানান কাজে পানির সুষ্ঠু ব্যবহারের অভাবে আমরা প্রচুর পানি অপচয় করে থাকি। ভূগর্ভস্থ পানির এরকম ব্যবহারের ফলে আমাদের পানির স্তর ক্রমান্বয়ে নিচে নেমে যাচ্ছে। পানি আমাদের অর্থনৈতিক, সামাজিক, বাস্তুতান্ত্রিক এবং পরিবেশগত সকল ক্ষেত্রে বিশেষ অবদান রাখছে। তাই আসুন আমরা পানি ব্যবহারে সচেতন হই।
Moving on to international news.